Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're back with another stream here on YouTube and IG. Getting back into it. Going to see if we can get our TikTok stream going, but not sure how to test that. So we're going to get our audio settings open. Make sure that our input is set to our... I think it's just using my desktop audio. So we're going to go live. We're going to go live and see what happens. And hopefully this works. We'll see here. It says, I don't have access to live stream from my desktop, because I need a live stream from my phone. I don't want to live stream on my phone. I want to live stream from my desktop. That is annoying. Well, we'll fix that another time. For now, go live on Instagram. Let's see what we got here. Cool. All right. We're back. Okay, let's take a look at some macro stuff real quick. I'm going to get some music going because it's very, very quiet in my headphones. We'll pop out to the daily chart. I was just on Ariel's stream pre-market, so I got to give him a shout out. He was doing some equity overviews, as he does. Like watching him, might get into some equities in the morning. What's the time delay? I don't think there's a time delay. Is there a time delay? There shouldn't be. There's like a delay from my audio than from my voice or something, or what's going on there? Not sure what you mean there. What platform do you recommend? For what? As a brokerage, it doesn't really matter. It honestly doesn't matter. I mean, I use TradingView for charting. I have accounts with... Hold up, I'm getting a phone call. This is Forrest. Oh, yeah. Hold on, y'all. Okay. That was my food getting delivered. We're back. What platform? For a prop firm, daytraders.com is good. Take Profit is good. Take Profit Trader, has daily payouts. Day traders, straight to funded accounts are great. I have some straight to funded accounts with day traders. I have a live account with daytraders.com. Apex if you want to scale. Prop firms are just leverage. The most important thing is, are you a profitable trader? Do you have edge when you sit down at your desk and interact with the markets over some period of time? Are you expected to make money? If that's not the case, there's really no reason for you to use prop firms. You will just leverage backwards. With war getting escalated, is market going to fall? The market doesn't necessarily just fall because of war, right? Equity markets, or the markets in general, don't like uncertainty. Okay, so war can cause uncertainty, and random strikes on countries, as we've seen, can cause like intraday drops. Okay, we've seen some intraday drops. But overall, we're still in this range that we've been in. Okay, if we open up the volume profile for this period in time, you can see that we're right below. We dipped in a low value. We bounced off this little node here and went back into this range. So war doesn't necessarily just mean the market comes off a ledge. It depends on who we're going to war with. It depends on, are consumers still buying stuff? It's a very simple question. Okay, are consumers still buying stuff is the main thing, right? Is the war affecting employment? People becoming unemployed? Consumer spending going down? Those are the real questions. But war doesn't necessarily just mean the market's going to fall off an edge. Uncertainty can cause intraday drops. There's a lot of reasons for that. Companies run on leverage. They borrow money. Okay, when money becomes thin due to banks tightening up lending, due to uncertainty, people can't lend the money, or lending becomes more expensive, which affects the future value of cash flows, etc. It's this whole big thing. So it's a lot more complicated than just war bad. Obviously war is, the loss of human life is always bad, but for the markets, it's not that simple. Nope, we good. Awesome, perfect. No time delay. Love that. Anyways, welcome back to the stream. Appreciate y'all being here. Okay, shout out to everybody who has joined in today. I need to rotate my chat on Instagram. I just noticed it is a little, it's facing the wrong way. Let me transform, rotate 90 degrees clockwise. There you go. Boom. I don't want to rotate it on both. That was not the... There's no way. Okay, right. Streamlabs is ridiculous. Anyways, we're still in this chop. At 8:30, we dipped down to the bottom of this range. We bounced off. Okay, we're still up here. We're consolidating right here under this, yesterday's high. We still have lower highs on the daily. Okay, so we have highs here, lower high, lower high, lower high. Okay, we want to see if we crack. If we break that pattern, if we maintain lower highs, then we'll probably dip lower in the low value, come all the way back down to 24,245, in my opinion. Otherwise, we're probably just going to range all the way up through this auction, okay, across a few days. What's really interesting about, say, like the weekly candle so far is this entire candle, most of this candle formed, okay, Sunday, Monday. Right, all of this range was formed within under 24 hours. So we're still inside. Okay, we have not broken the opening range of this, either Monday or Tuesday. So very key to remember, this was deeply red. It bounced up. We had a V reversal, came all the way back up. But all of this happened inside of 24 hours. And so it's Wednesday. We're in the 72nd, hour. We're going to complete that auction today. I want to see if we break the structure, if we just stay inside or not. Okay, it's very possible that this weekly candle does not change too much. We'll take a look at ES on the daily as well. Okay, ES, we have this nice little trend line. It rejected here, still inside of it. We did a little retest there. If we maintain this structure, then yeah, that would be another little confluence for us to go lower. It's entirely possible there, right? There's a nice little short off of that. Yesterday, 200 points on NQ if you just shorted the retest on ES there. Okay, I will tighten up this trend line though just a little bit, make it a little bit better. We'll put it right there. So that's what we're looking at. That is what we're looking at. It has been a very, let's say, tumultuous February, beginning of March for your boy. A lot going on in my personal life. I'll spare you guys the details, but yeah, it has definitely affected my trading. So trying to lock back in hopefully um, maintain some positivity. There's a lot to do. We're going to try and get it done. Good morning, Forrest. Best place for traders to be here. Thank you, man. Welcome, Gadas. Appreciate you. Welcome to the best place on the internet. Trading with Forrest. Let's see. Get our session VP in here. POC is lower. Okay, we ranged up here. Let's go to the 1 hour really quickly. We want to see how this 4 hour closes. Obviously, the 4 hours is just going to close green if it closes up here. Okay, it's 9:36. We'll wait for that to close. Our overnight high volume candle was this doji here, right in the middle of the range. That came down right off POC. Nothing to really do with that. I had a short last night, which I exited too early, unfortunately. I shorted a little bit too early. My entry was not the best. And then we started to build this node up here. So I thought we were going to pop a little higher. But if I would have held on for a little longer, would have got lower, but I needed to get some sleep. So I went to bed. I was not going to stay up all night. The currency, what's up? Crypto benchmark. Do you mind boosting your audio a little bit? I've got you all the way turned up, but I can't hardly hear. I'm driving a CMV. How's my audio, everybody? Can you guys hear me? I mean, I'm almost peaking on my audio mixer, so I don't really want to boost myself too much, to be honest. Check. How am I sounding, you guys? Would you consider past few months to be quite hard mode trading conditions? I don't know. Not necessarily. We've been very rangy, which is, I mean, I typically perform pretty well in this range. I've just been underperforming personally. I keep it honest with you guys over the past 30 days. But again, that's just personal life stuff. We haven't had as many A setups, but we have been very much, if you've just been longing value area lows and shorting value area highs, there's a lot of money to be made, assuming the market's mostly going to range, right? If you actually wait for like prior day highs or previous highs to get swept, previous lows to get swept, so long as we have a mostly D-shaped auction, there's been a lot of money to be made. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily harder, other than we haven't been getting like signal candles as much. And a lot of that is just due to, I'd say contextually, we've hovered outside of VALs and VAHs a bit more and still mean reverted, which has been interesting to see. So the market is acting a little bit differently, but I mean, I've been trading for a long time, so these cycles just happen. This behavior just happens. Loud and clear. What's up, OG Trade? Good morning. Totally understand that, my friend. Okay, leave it. Cool. Yeah, I'd turn you up if I could, man, but it's the most I can do here. The most I can do. Oh, man. Everybody thinks their thing is the most important thing. Paolo, what's up, man? Tuning in from Italy. Good morning. Good morning. Today's stream sponsored by daytraders.com, by the way. If you want to pick up some accounts from day traders, I would just go for the straight to funded accounts. Snag you some of those. Use code FRST. Appreciate it. Shout out to day traders. If you guys haven't joined our Discord, make sure you join our Discord. There's a link in the chat. It's just called Trade Edge. And if you want to get some one-on-one or group coaching, the link for group coaching is go.vpmastery.com, or you can go to my Instagram bio, fill out the application if you want to get some one-on-one trade mentorship. We're cracking. We'll get rid of this line here. We don't need it anymore. So we have the overnight high here at 25,126. What I would look for is if we maintain this D shape. If we crack overnight high, we might get a mean reversion there, but ES is too low. So really we need to look for ES overnight high slash, this trend line retest here. Okay, if we maintain a nice normal distribution, then we'll have a nice mean reversion trade, and then possibly just hold that short for lower. If we put in an actual lower high, okay, we maintain this high here. If we do another lower high, then this thing is just literally downtrending, and we'll probably come all the way down to at least get one of these. There's this naked POC down here. Okay, naked POC on ES, naked POC on NQ, 24,414, about 700 points of opportunity there. So obviously a solid trade. So I'm going to sit tight and do nothing until we have a really good setup and implement some patience today. Implement some patience today. I saw a Thai ship was attacked in the Strait of Hormuz, which is not good. So ships are trying to go through the strait with their transponders off, basically in the middle of the night, and they're still getting attacked. Not good for oil prices. And by not good, I mean they're probably going to skyrocket. So shipping lanes, global shipping lanes are obviously very important. The one thing that war will affect is the operations of those businesses. Even though we have oil reserves, okay, it's one thing to have the oil. Getting it to consumers is another thing, right? It's not as simple as just it's there. There's a whole, gajillions of companies that are moving the oil, packaging the oil. There's just, tons of stuff that goes into operationally changing the day-to-day readiness of a commodity. So even if we start, releasing our oil reserves and things like that, it's really not that simple. So if the strait becomes unusable, we will see skyrocketing oil prices. It's not something that you necessarily want to trade for because we don't know what the orange man is going to do. I don't think anybody does. I don't think he knows what he's going to do. So what I would say is just use your trading tools and ask yourself, is oil at a price in the auction that makes sense? Okay. Doesn't mean don't pay attention to the macros, but yeah, we went very far into low value here. This thing zipped up and came already back into this auction here. People's cost basis still matters no matter what is happening. Okay, you can't get away from having a cost basis or a position. It does not matter what's happening in the world. Your basis is your basis. And most people so far are still positioned, in this red here for oil. So it's going to revert back to that eventually. It could start to trend up higher, right? So if the macro environment maintains, if we actually have not a single day or, multi-day or a single week of macro environmental shift, but we actually have a multi-month shift in the macroeconomic environment, then yeah, we'll see maintained higher prices. But you don't want to coin flip or gamble on intraday changes unless you have some inside information or edge that's going to help you do that, to be honest. You'll see people who played oil who made a ton of money, and, you know, most of them got lucky. Actually, at Munich airport, waiting for a connecting flight. Gotcha. I've been to that airport in Munich. It's a nice airport, actually. Really nice airport. Hotel there is nice. April 3rd of 2024, the $5 puts on SPX went from $5 a contract to $4,000 a contract by the end of the day. Do you think that might happen again after quarterly rebalancing this year? April 3rd of 2024, the $5 puts on SPX. At what strike? I mean, I have a tool that can tell me that. I have a piece of software I wrote called ForeSpot. I can just ask my chatbot what the best strike was on April 4th. What was the max ROI on April 4th of 2024? Let's see what it says. I was a software engineer for a long time. Before the whole code gen thing was even started, I'd been working on this. I built trading tools for myself. Been doing that for years. There was an error streaming the results. Amazing. Like a true software dev, my software doesn't work. Let me open up the dev mode on this thing. I know you guys can't see this, but we're going to get an answer for you. Let's do npm run dev. What? Huh? Hold on, guys. Am I... I'm in the wrong project. That'll do it. This is my Discord bot. All right. npm run dev. Let's see. Let's see if this thing works. Rejected overnight high, just a little bit. You can see ES rejected value area high. It's just ranging. What was the max ROI yesterday? It's possible that I ran out of tokens, but it's very unlikely. I know you have a tool. I love you for that, for building that shit. Thanks, man. I just like making stuff. Regardless of what it seems, I used to tell people I'm a nerd in disguise, but not really in disguise. Like, people meet me and they're like, I've gotten feedback like I'm different than like what I'm just like. I'm literally just like, I'm a gamer. I'm a nerd. I like to be at my desk. I like to make stuff. I like to learn. Like, one of my favorite things to do is just like acquire information and learn stuff and make stuff. That's literally all I ever want to do. It's just make stuff and nerd out. What was the max ROI on April? What day do you say? 3rd, 2024. So my tool will actually stack rank. It'll give you the top 3. If you ask it for the max ROI on any given session, it'll give you the... It works on equities too when it works. It looks across the entire options chain, and it will tell you what the best trade you could have taken from an options perspective was, calls and puts, and then it will give you like the top 3. It just needs to do a lot of... I mean, it's crunching a lot of data. The reason... well, it is public, actually. I mean, you can... If you guys want to check it out, it's just forespot.com. Okay, so the best trade on April 3rd... Let me show this to you guys. I will put this on stream for you. 1 second. this one? No, it's this one. Okay. And sorry for those of you on Instagram. It's going to be hard to see this. I'm not going to fix it right now. So the best trade, max ROI on April 3rd, 2024 was there was a 5,900% trade, which is basically a 59x return on 5185 puts. You could have got in at 5 cents and got out at $3. Okay. So the time you would have got in at 315 got in at 306, get out at 315. So you can see the chart here for that. Okay, we'll go to the 1 minute on this thing. Might not work. Not sure what changed. Haven't touched this in about 2 weeks. But there was a few really good trades on this session. So this is an end of day, essentially gamma spike, right? So there's an end of day move. If we actually go to SPX on April 3rd, 2024, let's look at 315 and see what happened. 1 second. Let me get rid of this. So we'll go to SPX and let's go to April 3rd, 2024. April 3rd. Third, 2024. We just had this end of day. I actually remember this chart a little bit at this point in time. This is why journaling is important. There's just this little end of day drop here. Let's look at ES on the same day. Let's just say go to April 3rd. Yeah. Okay. So the 3rd of April, we had, let's let the VP load. I don't remember what happened. Went from $5 to 4,000. Try December 18th or 19th. It happened again. There's going to be these really large opportunities, you know, like you can see the next day of the 4th, you know, you could have bought puts. Are you going to capture the max EV on any one of these trades? No, but you can get like nice 10x, 20x's on these. I usually play, so the gamma trades that I take are usually around the beginning and the end of the month. So that would be like the beginning of the month type of trade. You know, I need to flip these stickers back around. These trades happen more often than you think. It doesn't necessarily require a crazy setup. What you really need to look for is a D-shaped VP. The market needs to move very far away from the mean, and you need to ask yourself, am I likely to have an end-of-day breakout? Are we likely to run end-of-day, or are we likely to mean revert? You can actually play strangles on these with, you know, with options. You're capping your downside risk as long as you're longing the options. You cap your downside risk, and there's really good return. I usually don't play strangles. I'll just play single side, and it works out pretty well. It can work out pretty well, but you want a normal distribution end of day, and you want the market to move very far away from the mean around 2:30 to 3 o'clock. Okay, if the market moves away, like say the market was up here right now at 25,260, and the VP was basically looks like how it is now. So you essentially would have a very thinly traded market, almost no one here. So you have like a runaway auction. The market's going to mean revert. Okay. The one thing it might do this after, RTH closes or whatever. So depending on your broker, like if you're not using like Interactive Brokers or a broker that allows you to trade outside of RTH, you might get screwed. So if you're trying to do that on like Robinhood, for example, you're going to get smoked. They're going to close you out. So that's where like tools and using more professional tools matters. Okay. But other than that, it's a very simple setup. You don't really need to look for like special days and things like that. Literally just use what's in front of you on the charts. Okay. There's certain setups. You want to see the market move very far away from the mean. In this case, the mean that I care about is the POC with a normal distribution. You don't want to look for like a bimodal distribution or like a P shape or B shape. You want a normal distribution. Market moves very far away from the mean. Late in the day, understanding that the market's most likely to pin when you have a D-shaped VP. And so you just look for an asymmetric trade. You could just play that with futures, by the way. Sometimes they'll double dip. Okay, futures, you're going to get a linear return. That's fine. But you get a nice gamma spike with zeros or ones or really anything with the same setup. And those are my gamma trades. That's a lot. I don't know if that makes sense. How do I get you these screenshots? Just join the Discord, DM me. Just DM me in Discord. It's the easiest way to do that. If you ever want to reach me, join my community, please. A lot of people reach out to me on Instagram and want to have one-on-one conversations. I do not have time, unfortunately. It's not because I don't appreciate you guys or like you guys. That's just not how I operate personally. My screen time on Instagram on a weekly basis is, I got it under 30 minutes. I'm actually trying to reduce it as much as possible. I spend less than 30 minutes a week on Instagram. Okay, it's going to be high now because I'm streaming again, but like I don't consume short form content. So I just don't look there. So please come to the places that I've created to interact with me. Discord. I'm always looking at Discord. Just tag me on the trading floor. You know, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to look dumb. Don't be afraid to ask dumb questions. Okay? You're going to ask dumb questions. Just don't care. Don't be afraid. You don't know anything, so don't expect to look smart when you don't know anything. It's this really weird thing that people have, like this anxiety or nervousness around it. Like they don't want to ask a question publicly. It's like, you don't know. If you don't know, easiest way to find out is just ask. You get an answer. So many people do it, and then, you know, I randomly will check my message requests, and I've got like 30. I'm just like, I don't have time for that. Trendline break 2 or 3 days before on Monday, then this gap filled, and the move started at 1 p.m. Yeah, just send them to me on Discord. Chuck, good morning. If you're here, say what's up in the chat. I haven't called you out yet. We got Quad in the building. Good morning. Already said what's up to Paulo, OG, Gadas, Jay-Z, Morale, what's up? Take a Risk, what's up? Vera, what's up? Jay Riggins, what's up? If you missed it, we're waiting for either overnight high to get taken out, but realistically, overnight high and M&Q is gonna probably come we're gonna take that out, and then we're probably gonna come all the way up to like this area, no man's land, because ES would need to go for probably this trend line. They'll probably take overnight high and they'll go for this trend line if it does that. So I'm not really interested in putting on risk until we get away from the mean here. We're too close to the auction. We have a nice D-shaped formula on ES, normal distribution. We're just gonna hang tight, hang out. Be patient. Carbs, good morning. Chipmunk, good morning. Welcome back. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for being here. Yo, ChatGPT is broken. I really don't understand what is going on here. Let's see. Very, very interesting. I'm just getting weird errors on ChatGPT. Love it. Love it. Let's take a look at what oil's doing. I'm very curious on this intraday movement here. 4-hour candle closing here in 1 second. Close. We've got a nice 4-hour big green candle as expected. I expect this thing to range. We might pop up a little bit higher, but I do expect it to mean revert eventually. Check out gold. Check it out. One of the things I notice about gold is, the periodicity of this thing is really weird. Like the volume doesn't really follow RTH volume spikes that well or at all. And so there's just massive delays when you see signals versus playing playing the indexes at least. It's a very weird thing to trade on the intermediate time frames at least. Little chunk of meat down here on silver. There they go, making that little push, swept overnight high. See if they go for this trend line here. I want ES to go for this price here, essentially at 68.2250. December 18th does ring a bell. Took off there, 165. There you go. Quad got his 50 points. Most consistent trader I know. Love that for you. Swept overnight high. Might mean revert a little bit. I want ES to hit overnight high, though, before I take a trade. Personally. If we do just have a divergence and ES doesn't sweep its overnight high, then I just won't get anything. And it is what it is. Or break bears getting squeezed. I don't think the term squeezed applies on this time frame. I also don't, I'm not an opening range breakout trader. I'd say that. It does, people make money on it sometimes, but it's just not a trade that I look at. Nor do I think that, from an auction mechanics, if you actually think about the mechanics of an auction, I don't think that shorts are getting squeezed in this case. We're simply ranging. Simply ranging in the range. $5 puts actually went to 8,000. Wow. Let's ask my tool. December 18th. 2024. So one of the other things I can do with my tool is save. I can save random tickers or charts that I find interesting. So December 18th is one that I have saved, I recall. But we'll just ask the bot, see what it says. What was the max ROI on December 18th, 2024? See what it says. It's going. So we got the initial reaction. Okay, off the overnight high, sweep on MNQ. See here, we're above value area high on both tickers still. I want to see how we react once we sweep that on ES. There's a little bit more to clean up. I gotta put another angle in so you guys can see what's happening like outside of my frame. There's a bunch of people in the studio. If you guys don't know, I am the co-founder and CTO, COO of The Move Miami. So I stream every day out of my office while there's a bunch of other stuff going on, and then I hop off at 10:30 and I go and be a studio executive, which is exciting. Coming up on the point of control on ES. If this sticks here, we're probably gonna punch higher. If we consolidate here, we bounce off a POC, then this is gonna punch pretty high. We might go for 68.51. Honestly, that's gonna be the move. MNQ is holding above area high as well. Let's call this possible. Like there was a little trend line here on MNQ that got tapped already. Sheesh. All right, I got an answer. It's not done yet. It's still calculating a few more. Wow. I can't even read what that number is. Entry price of 5 cents, exit price of $88.50. That's a return of 176,000%. You basically would just be rich as fuck if you took that trade. 176,000%. What is that? 1,000 and turns into 1.7 million. $1,000 gives you 1.7 million. I think I'm doing that math right in my head. Somebody check me on that. Let's say 1,000 times 176,000%. Yeah, $1,000 gives you 1.76 million. Wowzers. You basically have to like get in the trade and not look at your charts to hold that to the end, though. You just have to not be looking at your screen and then come back and be like, oh wow, I actually just made almost $2 million on accident. Almost 177,000. It's 176,900% if you bought SPX 5960 puts on December 18th. Guys want to see the chart? I'll show you the chart. Here it is. Let me fix this a little bit. Okay. 5960 puts December 18th. You can see here they were just worthless all day. And then, bloop, nice little pop here at the end of the day. I mean, historic return. The second place position was 5950 puts, right? So just $10 away from the 5960s. Would have got you 158,000%. And then in third place, we had 147,000%. For some reason, this thing is also duplicating its response, which is a bug in my code, which I should fix. I'll fix that later. 5 cents to $73. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Would love to get one of those. We're just ranging. Very boring open so far. MNQ respected its trend line. ES still needs to go for it. Ugh. MCT. What's up, Garrett? Good morning. Over ICT. I mean, everything over ICT. A profile shot eye level with bokeh so you're able to see you while the background is semi-blurred. Could be a nice addition to the setup. Yeah, I could. I could do that. I'm too lazy, though. My office is too small. I'd have to go to like a really low f-stop, like 1.2 or something. And then if I move around, it's going to get all messed up. And I'm also like, there's not that much stuff in my frame of my camera. Like if I go to the full frame here, like my scene doesn't have too much stuff in it. You know what I mean? So not too worried about it. ES back to POC. What questions do you guys have for me today? Bounce off POC. Kind of expected here. We'll see if my expectations continue and if we grind up here and go for this ES overnight high. Again, MNQ did not fully mean revert, did not go to POC. It's hovering in this range up here around the very high. So I expect ES to come and take out these trapped longs still. if this is a mean reversion now happening, where would you place your TP? VAL. Deep profile, I expect it to range across the entire range. So if I had shorted, I would just go for 24.944. But I'm not short, as you can see. How was my B day? You took a trip, right? I did. I did take a trip. My girlfriend scheduled a trip to Savannah, Georgia, which was good. It was good. Saw some historic stuff. Nice little break. Saw some alligators and some stuff, so couldn't unplug fully, but unplugged as much as I could. On May 31st, the calls, that move started at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Yep. As I mentioned, right, these gamma trades, I look for end of day, beginning and end of the month. Ideally, a Friday where the weekly is closing and the monthly is closing, which would be an end of the month trade. But the beginning of the month gives you nice gamma trades too. You want a D-shaped VP. Sometimes you just have these outlier events driven by something else, and you might get lucky and catch a move you're already in, or a move you're in might run more. But if you look for moves like that every day, you're just going to get paper cut after 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 paper cut. So it's not something that you should chase by any means. That was a historic return. Absolutely historic return. Very boring. Wish I had something more interesting for you guys, but I don't. We're just waiting for that level to hit. What usually happens is right when I get off, a move happens. Okay, it's the Forest post-stream move, as you can call it. It's an official market mechanic. Sharing Gun user Kyle, subscribe. Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate you. Thanks for joining in. To some real trading. That's what real trading looks like. It's mostly waiting for your plan to get to the executable state for the most part. Exciting stuff. Why is this not working? This is really frustrating. I'm trying to send these red lines, which a lot of you probably don't know what that means. This is not working. Send that in a few minutes. So MNQ, prior day high sweep. We'll put an alert here. We'll look for that. Okay. We'll also look for range low. There. I have my alert set. Here. If we break this floor, we're going to crack down to like 66.29. 66.24. downside target. Yep. We'll see how the 1 hour closes here at 11 as well. I do want I want this overnight high sweep. Really want to be patient there. So for the sweep of the MQ overnight high, it needs the sweep of the overnight high and MES to be the NA plus setup. Yeah. Because these are indices, they're always looking for balance, right? I trade pretty efficient products. So I'm just looking for these things to move far away, and they give you really clean setups. A lot of traders don't like trading these because they're efficient, but it's for that exact reason why I trade them. It's very easy to get mean reversions on these things if you just wait patiently, because they are efficient. So as soon as they're out of whack, you literally just go for the mean reversion. It's easy money. And then if you want a little asymmetric return, just throw on some options and boom, bam, you've got a green P&L. Also, when they're rangy like this, they're going to range. You just trade I'm not in a scalping mood. Not in the best psychological state of mind today. Again, for personal reasons. So we're just going to wait for really good setups. I'm going to keep my trade count low. What happened to my music, dude? So you're waiting for the price to reach high overnight, then short it? Yeah, I want it to reach specifically, just to be very, very clear, sweep this 68.22. It's possible I don't get that setup. We could just crack the floor if this is super weak. And if it starts to hold, if we start to build value and this shifts into a B-shaped VP, okay, if this shifts into more of a B-shaped VP, I would look for my downside target. And I'll get in, a little later on a confirmation of that break. But I'm going to be patient. I expect the market to keep ranging until it proves me otherwise. And it's been ranging since, the 9th. So I don't want to short a red candle. Okay. Basically, typically want to short green candles and long red candles. Little trading pro tip for you. So if those of you who are like, you didn't short when it was up here, but now you want to short, you're doing it wrong. You're literally doing it backwards. Don't do that. Okay. You should have wanted to short it up here. And if you didn't short up here, like I didn't, then you should wait. You should wait for a confirmation of a break. Don't anticipate a break, because if you're wrong, this is the exact place, the worst place to short if you're wrong, because it's going to bounce and you will have a perfectly wrong trade. And you don't want to be perfectly wrong. You want to be mostly right. There's M&Q POC right there. Third aircraft carrier is near Iran now. Oof. Love that. Hope everything that's going on with you personally becomes okay for real. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. The market has really been beating me up, man. I've been at it 4 months daily. This is hard. I appreciate your advice and coaching. I've been perfectly wrong for a while. If you're perfectly wrong consistently, then you have some intuition about the market. You just need to flip your bias. I'm being honest. Like if you are consistently getting into trades and instantly wrong and it runs against you, then whatever you're doing, do that, but flip your trade. Just do it. Do it on paper even, and just see. And then you'll notice like for example, what it's very likely you're doing something similar to what I said, where you're longing red or you're shorting red candles and you're longing green candles. You're chasing breakouts essentially, right? You always think the market's going to break out. The market usually isn't breaking out. Okay, it's ranging or it might be trending, but it's not going to just. Don't try to catch the beginning of a trend, right? You don't need to catch the beginning of a trend, right? You just don't. Um, just expect it to range if it's ranging. The other key thing is if you're wrong, if you say you long down here, say you long 24,898 and you're wrong. Okay, your stop is like right here then. Okay, your stop is very close as opposed to the opposite. If you short the low, where you put your stop is very arguable because everything up to, POC is on the table. So even if you're wrong, your risk is a lot better, which is the most important. Well, I don't know if it's the most important part of trading. One of the most important parts of trading is your risk. You got to protect your capital stack. Okay, you can't trade if you run out of money. Sounds like a Costanza advice. You need to make a gif of that just now. Do that. Do the opposite of what you normally do. I mean, it's true. If you're like exactly wrong, if you take 3 trades and every time you get in a trade, it's like exactly wrong, next time you have that inkling to take a trade, just inverse yourself. It'll work. It will literally work. You have intuition about the market. It's just backwards. And that's okay. You just got to let go of your ego. You need to not be so prideful that you you just need to do what makes money. Trading is really just like a huge effort in self-introspection and discovery. It's really what it is. People think it's anything else are just wrong. Trading is about execution. It's not about analysis. There's a lot of keyboard traders, they're really good at typing up analysis and being right until they got to risk their own money. And once they got to risk their own money, the only time it matters if you're right is when you're risking your own money. Okay? It's the only time it matters if you're right. I don't care if if you're right all the time, you never put risk on, like it doesn't matter. Maybe I'll read your analysis and I'll use it, but like as a trader for you individually, you need to be right. It doesn't matter. You could be wrong 99 times in a row, but every time you put a trade on, you're right. That's the only thing that matters. I need you to say that out loud to yourselves. It only matters if I'm right when I have risk on. Doesn't matter if you're right when you're in the Discord argument. Doesn't matter if you're right if you're typing up something in Wall Street Bets. Doesn't matter if you're right when you're in an argument on Twitter. It only matters if you're right when you have risk on. It's the only time that matters. Okay, we're not trading for karma. We're trading to make money. All right, y'all. We're 1 minute away from me getting off of this thing. Thanks for trading with me. I'm going to leave you guys with a little bit of a word. Trading can be tough. Life can be tough sometimes. Okay. You just got to stay in it for the long haul. Okay. Your life is not defined by today's results, but it is defined by the little effort that you put in every single day. So look over the last 2 weeks of your life and ask yourself, what have I done over the last 2 weeks to get closer to my dreams? If you're not putting in a little bit of work every single day to work on your goals and your dreams, then they're just dreams. They're not even goals. Okay, you don't really mean it. Okay, all that really means is that you just don't like your current lifestyle, and most people don't. So you're regular. So if you don't want to be regular, then you need to do stuff that regular people don't do, which means work hard when you don't want to, wake up when you don't want to, put in the work when it's hard. When you're trying to solve a problem that you've never solved before and you can't figure it out, instead of giving up in that moment, you decide to double down and put the work in, and you just get it done. Believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, why the heck would anybody else? Okay. That being said, I believe in you. You have what it takes. Get after it. You have the ability to be a successful trader. So be a successful trader. Thank you for trading with me. I will see you all on Friday, 9